This is Dawn McCoy with Flourish Leadership Group, where I help ignite your leadership to the next level. I'm excited to talk with you today about a very fascinating subject regarding leadership and how we can continue to be effective leaders in our own right and in our realm. There are a couple of ways leaders have to always be on top of their game, and that includes being able to be resourceful for those who they lead. We would be remiss as leaders if we overlooked an opportunity to constantly be reinventing ourselves, but also being acclimated with our audience, our clients, our customers, our subordinates, our volunteers. All of these are people who we serve, an opportunity for us to learn and glean. So I want to just share with you 3 key points for how we can constantly be, as leaders, more effective in what we do. The first opportunity we have to be effective with our teams is to make sure that we are listening. Write that down, listening. We must be listening to those we serve and what they have to share, the complaints, the accolades, the challenges, or the opportunities. If we do not tap in on that opportunity to learn and listen from them, it means we cannot be effective as leaders. So we need to really be constantly in tune with what they are saying and listening to them, stopping what we are doing, being attentive and focused, making sure that we are taking what they have shared and applying that. Maybe it may not be relevant at that moment, but at least letting them know that we are acknowledging what they have shared. That's an important next point that leads to not just the listening, but second point of connecting. We have to connect with those we lead. In order to know who they are, we have to share with them. We have to first listen, but be able to connect with their experiences, find common ground and interest, relate to them as being aspiring leaders like we once were, connect with them in personal experiences or family dynamics, or being able to share just after hours, or being able to share over a cup of coffee or the lunchtime break or lunch cooler. And so how do we make sure that we are connecting with those we serve to make sure we're constantly keeping aware of what we can do to be connecting with our leaders and become more effective with those we serve, because they in fact are rising leaders. And so the third point is that we are constantly thinking of ways to troubleshoot. Write that down, troubleshoot. We're thinking of new ways to rise above a challenge, technical issue, problem. Maybe it's a conflict amongst parties who you serve. It might be internal or external challenges. It might be a crisis situation. But if we're constantly in the position of leadership as opposed to troubleshooting, and not only finding out what the problem is that needs to be addressed, but the solution, we fail as leaders. So in those we serve, we take an opportunity to learn from them and listen and find out how can we make sure we're connecting with them and being able to be problem solvers at the same time. If you think about those who are effective at this, they are the ones who constantly think of ways to reinvent themselves by listening to those they lead, to take the feedback, good, bad, or ugly, and to transform that into something that is palatable, and to be able to overcome a challenge. That is what I submit to you today, to challenge yourself to think in terms of being a proactive leader, reaching out to those you serve, to really listen to what they have to say, being able to be aware of what they are doing or learning or listening or what they're challenged by so that you're connecting with them. And lastly, I want to challenge you to be someone who is a troubleshooter, not just putting out fires, not just resolving the problem that might be coming up, but to think of ways to constantly improvise and leverage resources to make sure that you're leading, they're following, and a more effective balance is achieved. Again, this is Dawn McCoy with Flourish Leadership Group, where I help ignite your leadership to the next level. If you'd like to learn more about me, you can tune in on my webpage at flourishleadership.com. I want to encourage you to check out some of the available resources and guides, albeit brief and resourceful, but some more extensive, like books and workbooks that can really help you drill down into these subjects. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, be enlightened, be empowered, be enriched.